Hello, human being. Is your mind bored? Do you think about the same things every day? Then listen to The End of the World with Josh Clark, a 10-part podcast series that explores whether humans will survive the next 100 years. It takes you to amazing places, from a black hole as it grows inside the Earth, to the far future where we've shed our bodies and uploaded ourselves onto servers. It's an adventure for your mind. All 10 episodes of The End of the World are ready to binge now for free on the iHeartRadio app.
What's up, and welcome to a brand new Murder Monday. It's Steve, and I really like this episode of Murder Monday because the story is simply wild to me. There's so much interesting stuff about this one. It almost kind of wrote and made itself. Thanks for subscribing and liking the podcast. If you don't subscribe, then please do right now. I really appreciate it. And then also make sure you tell your friends about it. And then you can check out the Murder Monday podcast. We're on Instagram and Facebook and all those different places. So let's get into this Murder Monday from Illinois again. And here we go. More than 100 family members and friends attended Ari Squire's memorial banquet and signed his online condolence book, mourning a man that they said was kind, selfless, and gentle. The Illinois business owner was part owner of a construction and remodeling company, but was known around town as a diesel truck racing enthusiast who built a 3-car garage addition on his home. Early on a Saturday morning in 2008, police and firefighters rushed to Squire's home to put out a fire. On that morning, Ari's wife heard 3 bangs coming from the garage. She rushed down the stairs towards the garage and smelled smoke. As she opened the door from the house, she was overwhelmed by flames. After firefighters were able to stop the blaze, they found Ari Squire's charred body beneath his souped-up Chevy Silverado pickup. A broken car jack was nearby, but there was something not right. The broken jack, which forced the vehicle to fall on him, was one thing, but the fire was something else. At first, police believed that after the vehicle fell on Ari Squire, a light bulb must have fallen on the ground, igniting gasoline, which had poured onto the ground. Something was suspicious about this case. Days earlier, Ari had offered 20-year-old Home Depot employee Justin Newman a job. The young man jumped at the chance to get into the business, and bonus, he'd be making more money. That Saturday morning, he told his mother that he was going over to Ari's house to pick up some tools for the new job, and that he planned to be back around 3:30, but he never came home. Instead, texting his mother early the next morning. The text read, "I'm going to Missouri to work on a job. Call you in a couple weeks." Worried and wanting to talk to him, Justin Newman's mother tried calling his phone, but her son wouldn't answer, so she called the construction company, which is when she found out the bad news. Justin's new boss, Ari Squire, was dead. Even stranger, there was no job in Missouri. Police put out an all-points bulletin for the blonde-haired, blue-eyed 20-year-old man after they realized that he was the last person to see Ari Squire alive. Police no longer viewed this as an accident, but instead a murder, which is when the first strange thing happened. Denise Squire started calling the coroner's office, asking for her husband's body, even before the autopsy was completed. When asked if she knew Justin Newman, she said no, which is when they found out something interesting. Ari and Denise hadn't been sleeping in the same room. Their marriage was going through a rough spot because his business was hurting financially. Police even found out that he wasn't the upstanding guy that everyone thought he was. He had made some shady business decisions and even been convicted of fraud. So police asked the obvious question: was there a life insurance policy under Ari's name? She claims not to know of one. And of course, investigators don't believe her. They also don't believe that she doesn't know Justin Newman. There's another twist coming in this case that police never saw coming. That twist is next on Murder Monday. In February of 2008, the part owner of a construction and remodeling company, Ari Squire, is found dead in his suburban Illinois home. He had been working on his truck when the vehicle fell on him, and a fire started, which burned his body completely. On that same morning, a new hire, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed 20-year-old man named Justin Newman had stopped by Ari's house. At this point, Justin was the lead suspect in the crime. There was a major twist in this case, and it all began at the medical examiner's office. Days after her husband had died, Ari Squire's wife, Denise, began calling, demanding that they release his body. An autopsy hadn't been completed. Police were thinking that Denise Squire was trying to cover something up. She admitted to a strained relationship with her husband, but denied knowing Justin Newman, or that there was an insurance policy on her husband. So a week goes by, and police continue to speak with leads and people of interest, when they randomly get a phone call from a police officer 5 hours away in Missouri. This officer in Eureka, Missouri, is driving through the parking lot of a small motel when he notices an out-of-place Illinois license plate. Something was wrong, so that Eureka, Missouri police officer decided to call it in, and found out that it was Justin Newman's vehicle, the suspected killer of Ari Squire. So the officer went inside the motel to confirm that Justin was registered at the hotel. He was. By chance, Missouri police have stumbled on Ari Squire's killer. Knocking on the front door of the hotel, the officers announce themselves, which is when they hear a single gunshot coming from inside the room. Justin Newman has shot himself. They pull out Justin's ID and realize that the picture of the 20-year-old boy on the ID doesn't match the deceased. The deceased looks older, which is when both Illinois and Missouri police realize that the man who had just taken his own life had the exact same tattoo on his arm as Ari Squire. In this room, they found hair dye to change hair color to bleach blonde, and contacts to change the color of eyes to blue, just like Justin. Using DNA, it was revealed that the body found in Ari Squire's garage a week earlier actually belonged to 20-year-old Justin Newman. Police bring Ari Squire's wife Denise in to tell her that her husband has been found dead in Missouri. She was surprised and emotional, which was strange for the detectives because this wasn't the first time that they had informed her of the death of her husband. The first time there were no tears. The second time, there were. And looking back at it, detectives realized it was as if she knew he was alive. But she wasn't giving police anything until they told her that they planned on getting a search warrant. She then admitted to finding a life insurance document earlier that week worth $5 million. Ari Squire had 5 million reasons to disappear. Police were sure that Denise Squire was somehow involved in the murder of Justin Newman, but were never able to get enough information to press charges. But good news, Denise Squire did eventually lose big in court. Less than a year after her son, Justin Newman, was killed, his mother sued Denise Squire and won $6 million. Blood money drained from a killer.